Hi there, listeners. One quick favor. If you're enjoying Not Suitable for Work, please subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks. Welcome to Not Suitable for Work. I'm your host, Peter C. Diamond. You think your office is nuts? Wait until you hear some of these stories.
It's a story I tell people as a cautionary tale of what not to do in a pressure-filled situation.
And there's nothing like making a joke and looking at a room full of people who, are just stone-faced, and they know that you blew it.
What about our professional dynamic has given you a license to act in this way?
I realized she's kind of a mean girl.
With each podcast, I interview folks who have a humorous work story to share. Along the way, I'll offer advice to help you make sense of your own office nonsense. Don't worry, no careers were harmed in making Not Suitable for Work. Names and places may have been changed to protect the not so innocent. Without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Part and parcel of client relationships includes client entertaining. This can be a good time, especially when you like your clients. I've been witness to folks having one too many and staggering back into the hotel or getting folded into a taxi. Okay, on occasion, I may have been that person. But in this episode, after an evening drinking wine, while hanging out at a client's home, my guest finds herself in no shape to drive, and that's when this tale takes a strange turn.
I had to travel to go see my client, spent, a few hours in the car, on the phone, doing meetings, had to go to this executive top to top meeting with the head honchos at this client.
Where's this meeting taking place?
It's at this crappy hotel across from their headquarters.
Okay. So this is kind of let's just say it's in the middle of nowhere, kind of.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
This isn't in a big city. This is small town.
Small town, super friendly, down-to-earth folks.
Okay.
And I'm in a suit, feeling a little uncomfortable. And you know how you just have to be on, the energy it takes to be on. So I haven't eaten anything.
Okay. Oh.
Clue number one.
Clue number one. And so is this toward the end of the day?
Yeah, it's
so
5
o'clock.
5 o'clock. I just, I've been in the car, sweating in a suit, super attractive.
There's nothing worse. And you're
super attractive.
Yeah, and your jacket is
very good
stuck
looking.
to the seat of the car. And
yeah, I'm about to spend time with CFOs and where you have to be all smiles and high energy, and all I want to do is eat. And so I walk in, and there's a whole bunch of people, and all they have is really warm red wine to drink.
Oh, okay. Mm.
Yeah.
And this is in a hotel,
it's in a
hotel, kind of one of those awful conference room,
totally.
meeting rooms,
Yes.
no windows.
Yes.
Yeah,
warm, beige,
Yeah.
hot. And, I'm really happy to
Yeah.
be there. So, and no food, right? Just warm.
Because they probably already had lunch or something.
Drinks,
they probably ate earlier.
And they're responsible people. They're responsible adults.
Yeah.
Right. So I met up with a couple clients of mine who I've had for a long time. And they're kind of like friends, right? Client friends. It's you can buddy up with them, but they're still your client. And I was like, do you guys want to kind of get out of here and get some food and go to the bar down the street? They're like, absolutely. So we went. It was me and two of my clients. And I'm like, I got to eat something because I've had 2 glasses of warm wine and it's not going to go.
All right, so you had spent a little time in this windowless conference room.
Yeah, because, I'm schmoozing.
You have to do that. Okay.
Right. And I'm just saying a whole bunch of stuff.
2 glasses of wine under, got it.
Totally impressing people.
Of course you are. No, of course you are.
But literally dripping sweat. So we go to this bar and they just start ordering drink after drink after drink. And I am the only one that ordered food, right? So I try to give them my food, maybe we should eat something. And they're like, no, it's cool. So glass after glass after glass. And so we're starting to wind down. And
how much time has elapsed? How much time? It sounds like this is
like a black hole.
Couple
I have no
okay.
idea.
Peter,
Time.
But this is hours. It's not just...
No, right. And I just couldn't believe that they weren't eating anything and they were drinking. And I was like, well, the good news is I just have to walk over to my hotel. Like, I'm not driving, or I'm not, like, this is fine. Like, I could just, and I'll save face. It's all good. But one of my client friends was like, I really want you to come meet my husband and family. I want you to come over because your face.
Oh my God, because I'm just like
your face. Because every normal human being would be like, no, you don't. You say no thanks to me some other time. No, I don't.
Because these are nice. These are nice. They're nice Midwest people. You've worked with them for a while.
Yes.
You can't. And plus, having spent years in the advertising business, you can't say no to a client, right?
Thank you, Peter.
You can't.
Peter.
I know.
I like you so much more right now.
But you can't.
Yes, you can't. And honestly, like, I thought, well, I've heard a lot about her family and it would be really nice to meet them. I will just go and like Uber back to the hotel. No big deal. So we get in the car and I was like, are you okay to drive? She's like, oh yeah. I
do this all the time.
No big deal. No big deal. But we're driving and it's taking a while. And I realize I don't think I'm going to be making it back to my hotel.
So she doesn't live near the corporate office.
No.
Okay.
And as we're driving out, it's
Did you get on an expressway by any chance?
No, I just.
Or no? Okay.
I feel like it was just like abandoned streets, forests. Where you're like, there's going to be a deer jumping at any. That's what I was very nervous about. So. And it was at least a half an hour drive. So, and I'm thinking, there's no Uber. No one's coming for me.
I was going to say,
and I'm still in this damn suit and I'm hot. And as we're driving out there, she's calling her husband and she's like, honey, I'm bringing her home. Get out the wine. And I thought, holy crap. Like, what do I do? Right? Like, I have to be cool.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, yeah, and maybe some food because, I keep thinking that food's going to save me from this situation. It's just going to absorb it all and I'm going to be totally fine. So we get to her house and her family is lovely. She has 3 kids. One is, almost 17, one is 15, and the other is 12.
So, okay. So they're older. They're not like little kids. They're
older. They're older and super polite and friendly. And her husband's fantastic. And we go and we sit outside. It's a lovely afternoon. They have big space, like big lawn. It's gorgeous. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you know what? This isn't so bad. This is all right. I can do this. I can be cool. But I'm like, I don't have any, I don't even have my phone charger. I was like, I don't have any other clothes. And I don't see myself making it back to the hotel. She's like, don't worry. She's like, I got you covered. Don't worry. I'm like, okay. So as the night's going on, I have a few more glasses of wine, but I'm trying to really pace myself.
Is it
because I'm really good? I'm really good at it.
Did you have any? Was any water? Was there any water consumed? Or is it just wine?
Yeah. Okay. I'm not a total idiot.
Okay. All right. I'm just
I had 1 or 2 glasses of water.
I had 1 glass of water. All right. Okay.
And they made popcorn, and I think I ate all of it because I was trying desperately to just counterbalance the alcohol.
All the kids were like, "Mom, she's eating all the popcorn."
Yeah. And then, I have that moment where you're like, I'm that lady that came to their house and is getting drunk. That's weird, right? That's weird. Nobody wants that. But I'm that person. So they, though, the client and the husband continue to bring out additional, they bring out champagne. I'm not kidding. And I didn't even touch the champagne. I didn't even touch it. I was like, I kind of know that I'm beyond my limit. And I'm, when you're almost afraid to stand up because you're like, I've been sitting for a while and it's, so good.
I may not be so sturdy on my feet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there are kids around.
And there are kids around and I'm talking to them and I'm like, I'm just that person.
And do you remember even what you were even saying to them? Probably not. It's just you were trying to sound cool and relate to them.
I was trying so hard.
Yeah.
I was trying so hard to pretend to be normal and I knew I was way out of my league. So now it's time to turn in, right? So my client's like, you can stay in my 12-year-old daughter's bedroom. And I was like, well, I don't want to put her out of her room. And she's like, don't worry, she'll stay with my other daughter. You can stay in her room. And I was like, okay. So,
all right, just like, I'm like dying to hear, like, a 12-year-old daughter, and I can't wait to hear what this room looks like.
Actually, probably nicer than my room. Like, just like, like bed was made and it was pretty bare, but, like teenager, like pictures of her friends on the wall, and I was so super like, and this is a Tuesday night.
Okay.
This is not like a Friday or even like a Thursday night where you can be like, Tuesday night, the kids have school the next day. So, weird, drunk lady, 40 years old from work, now staying in the 12-year-old's bedroom. Like none of that is classy. There's nothing classy about any of this. So they laid out the 12-year-old's pajamas for me to wear because I had nothing to wear. And I'm not a big person, but I'm not a tiny person. But I was appreciative of clothes to change into, and the 12-year-old kind of had a big T-shirt, and I think it had like some saying on it. And
don't worry, be happy.
Yeah, like some
something.
And then pajama bottoms that like became capris for me, right?
Were they like plaid? Like I think it's like the plaid, right?
Yeah,
the plaid,
elastic waist.
Right.
Thank God, right? So I was like this like person in 12-year-old pajamas.
The 12-year-old's like.
Yeah, like can you imagine how horrible for her? Like I would hate me. Like I was hating me at that moment. So then they're like, oh, by the way, the dog really likes to sleep with the 12-year-old daughter. Do you mind if the dog does sleep with you? And of course, what am I going to say? I'm in the 12-year-old's pajamas.
You never say no to a client.
And I was like, I love dogs. I mean, I like dogs, but, like sleeping with them, especially when they're not even like my dog is okay. So I said, sure, it's fine. No big deal. So the dog is one of those dogs that has a lot of like saliva kind of. And it's permanently got its like tongue hanging out of its mouth. You know what I'm saying?
And how big is this dog?
It's
like,
a good size.
Like 40 pounds or so?
Yeah, like a good.
It's not a teeny tiny dog.
No, and remember, I'm in a 12-year-old's bed, so it's not like I don't even think I may have been like a full, but I don't know, not
a
quite.
queen. Not
Yeah. So so I'm like good night, and I borrowed a charger, and I was like. Had the little like I can do this.
Like, is
this
there a
is
toothbrush?
fine.
Did you get like a toothbrush or anything?
I brushed my teeth with my finger.
No, it's good. Well, okay,
I had
it's
to do
good.
something.
We've
right?
all done it. But at least like there was toothpaste hit the teeth.
They did. They hit the
okay,
teeth.
Great.
But it's like never.
I know it's never the same, but
that's not the same.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can do this. I can do this. This is cool. And I thought, as long as we get up and leave early enough the next day.
Before the kids see me.
Yeah,
before the kids see me.
Right. Because at that point, like, it's like total, like, walk of shame. So I said, can, you just get me to the hotel before the meeting starts so I can at least take a shower and, like, change. And she's like, oh, of course, no big deal. So I go to bed, and the dog, I literally have to sleep sideways because the dog took up like the whole bottom half of the bed.
Yeah.
And then the dog was like doing this like all night, and I was like, oh my God, please. Like, what is that? It feels wet. What is that? Oh my God.
Don't touch me.
Yeah, please
like,
don't. Okay. And then I kept going, oh, nice doggy. So I thought I just have to get through. Like, I only had a few more hours, like, just get me through. 2 hours probably had gone by, and I woke up and I had the worst headache, like really, really bad headache. And so I thought I need to take something or I'm going to get sick, right? And I don't want to get sick at my client's house.
Right.
So I first tried to talk myself out of it. Like, I'm just going to go right back to sleep because I can just sleep it off. But like, if you wake up with a headache, you're not going back to sleep, right? So that didn't work. Then I was like, maybe if I go to like the kids' bathroom, they'll have something for me.
Of course, it's
right?
gonna be something.
Right. And like my client, her husband's like bedroom door was open, so I could hear him snoring and everything. So I knew like they were sleeping. I was like, I'm not gonna wake them up. So I go into the try to go quietly, and I open all the drawers, and there's nothing. Like there's no aspirin. There's nothing.
Like
right?
Advil, Tylenol, nothing.
Nothing. So they actually have 2 dogs, and I thought, well, maybe I need to go to the kitchen, but I was so afraid to go down and the dogs would start barking because who is this strange, drunk 40-year-old lady in their child's clothes? Like clearly this person doesn't not like belong here. Like you're not blending in, lady. Yeah. Like nice try. So I thought I don't want to go down and the dogs start barking and then waking the whole house up. Like, oh my God, like I'm already ruining these people's lives. So I went back to the bedroom and I just like stood there with the lights on, just like talking about like, you know, like looking at the clock saying you just have to make it like one more hour. Well, then I started like sweating and getting like disoriented. And I'm like, I'm not feeling well. Like this is not going well. So I finally was like, if I wake them up, I've got to find something. So I went down into the kitchen and my client was up getting aspirin for herself.
Oh,
so
okay.
I thought, like, hey, oh my God, I have the worst. She's like, so do I. She's like, here, take 2, I don't remember what she gave me, like Excedrin.
Yeah.
Here's a bottle of water. And I was like, oh, thank you. And she's like, I'm going to take a shower, go lay down. As soon as I'm out, we'll go and everything will be fine. I thought, perfect. I took the 2 pills, I drank the water, and it was like immediately my stomach was like, no,
rejecting it all.
Rejecting.
Oh.
So now I'm in the kitchen and I'm sitting down at their kitchen table and I'm like, I'm going to throw up. So but I'm still like trying to be like mind over matter.
I can control this.
I can
do this.
I can control this. Nope. Like all of a sudden it was just like coming up. So I had to run to the bathroom.
And there's a bathroom like on the main floor.
Across the kitchen, okay. Right? Now I can start to hear the kids' alarms go off because they're getting ready for their school day because this is a normal family and they go to school and here's this weird person now throwing up in the bathroom. Oh my God, it's so painful. So I turn on the fan and I turn on the faucet and I try to throw up as quietly as I can. So I'm just like these little coughs. Because I thought, oh, this is so embarrassing, and I don't want. So I did, and then I thought, okay, maybe it's out. Like, good, I don't have to tell anybody. It's fine. I walk out.
And of course, you make sure that there's no evidence.
Right. None.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, okay, I did it. I can still do this. Yeah. Like, I can still do this. I'm in control. I got this. I go back to the kitchen. I mean, in 30 seconds, I was back in that bathroom. I threw up 2 more times.
Oh, my God.
So now it's like, it's happening. It's
just so you know,
right?
like I'm like sweating, like I'm beginning to, like I can feel like I'm like overheating just because it's just like, it's bringing up every memory of
bad decisions,
being in that exact same situation.
So, oh God, I mean, this poor family. I just kept thinking, like, I didn't want to be I am this. Now,
are they
person.
like? Do they like? Who know? Like, who do you think knows? Like, do they know?
Well, I don't know.
Is anyone else down?
So far, no one had come downstairs while it was happening.
Okay, all right.
So then I go back and I'm sitting at the table, and like all I want to do is like lay on the cold kitchen floor. You know those moments when you just like, if I could just lay down and not, like maybe even by the toilet, like just everyone leave me, but I can't, right? I'm not even in my own home. These children are getting ready to go catch the bus. The husband comes downstairs. He's having like nice chat with me. The kids are getting their book bags on. And I am like literally like gripping the side of the kitchen table because I feel like I don't know if I'm going to make it, right? And I'm trying to be all cool, like, hey, good morning. Oh, you take the bus? No, does your brother drive you? Oh, and they're being pleasant, but clearly like they don't want me there. So I I make it through to the fact they get out of the house.
Okay.
And then my client comes downstairs and I was like, I have to be honest with you. I said, I'm really sick. And I'm also thinking, like, I have this huge...
you still have another, like,
I have a
25, 30-minute
30-minute ride,
back.
and then I have a full day of conference that I have to attend, right?
Oh.
Like, so I came in the night before for this, like, top-to-top reception.
Yeah.
And then the next day is a full conference. You have to sit and listen to presentations and participate and do scavenger hunts or whatever they have planned, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't even make it through the next 5 minutes. You know, like, what am I going to... So I knew I had to come clean because I still have to sit in the car for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And what if I'm going to get... I'm not going to make it.
There's going to be a pullover somewhere along the way.
So I get in the car and my client's like, oh, I'm so sorry you don't feel well. And she's like, I drank way more than you did, so you must have something. She's like, it can't be because you drank too much. And I
Okay.
was like, let's go with that one.
Yeah, I like talk about like a good. That's a good
is she
client. Like,
amazing?
yeah, because that's like someone who is like giving you an out. Oh, it
Giving
must have
me
been
an out.
something you ate because you ate and I didn't.
Yes.
So it must be something you ate.
Like clearly, because
but we both know.
but we both
clearly.
know the truth. We both know the truth. So I get into the car and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it all the way to the hotel. She's like, don't worry. I can pull over. It's no big deal. I can pull over. So we start
So do
our
you
journey.
agree to signal? Is there like a signal that you...
I think probably when I just am like, you know, like she probably was just like, I don't want it in my car. And like, so we start to pull out and we start to like drive out of our neighborhood. And she's like, oh my God, I forgot my wedding rings. And I thought, forget the wedding rings. Like, forget it. Like, so she drove back to her house, pulled into the driveway, goes inside, and the kids are all outside waiting for the bus. And I open the car door because I think I'm going to throw up on the driveway. Oh my God. I can't believe I'm telling this story. This is so embarrassing. So, I have the door open and I look up and I see all these children, lovely, innocent children, without some weird stranger in their driveway. And I'm like, I gotta just suck it in. Like, I can't throw up in front of all of these. Like, come on, the humiliation, right?
Because you have kids of your own.
I do. I have two,
Right, so-
two children who would be very proud to hear
Yeah.
this story. So I suck it in, and my client comes back, and I just said, listen, we're not going to make it very far because I'm really feeling sick. She's like, no problem. So we get out of her neighborhood and she finds like a VFW hall that's closed.
Okay.
But there's like a field. So
Right.
I'm in my suit.
This is where you get to commune with nature. Is that it?
In heels.
Yeah.
And, I'm going in. And all I kept thinking is like, I'm sure I'm not the only person that's puked in this field,
No.
right? Like,
No.
I'm sure.
For sure.
Middle of nowhere, VFW hall, in the field.
It's
like,
happened before.
This is like,
Yeah.
this is where you
Yeah.
go, right? If you're going to, this is it. Throw up in the field. Got back into the car. And made it to the hotel
Okay.
finally.
All right.
It was it was like white knuckling
Okay.
it the whole time. And I just said to my client, I'm like, so I'm not going to make it. Thanks for having me. I'm going to go up to my hotel and I'll see you later. So I did. I went up to the hotel, puked a couple more times, then got dressed and got the hell out of there.
So you didn't even go to any of the meetings?
No, in fact, I know it wasn't because I had something, because the first stop I made was to a McDonald's to get an Egg McMuffin and a large Coke because that's hangover.
Because that's exactly what. Yeah,
cure,
exactly. That's
right?
exactly what you need.
And after that, I felt fantastic.
Yeah.
You know what and began my 3-hour drive
Yeah.
back home. Yeah.
So the good news. So were you? Because me goes to. The first question is, were you missed at that meeting? Like, were there any ramifications for not attending the meeting?
If there were, my awesome client friend was like totally covered for
Okay.
me.
All right.
So, and even to the point where my other client friend who didn't go with,
Yeah.
like she was with me in the first part of the evening, she was texting me like, I'm so sorry you're not feeling well. I had a similar sickness.
Oh, great. Oh, so your client friend totally did the
She's
food poisoning,
yeah,
whatever,
amazing.
like
a
something
totally-
she ate.
Yeah.
It was best that she just goes home. And you are so, well, first of all, you're so lucky to have a client like that, because that's pretty dear.
Yeah.
But so let's talk a little bit about, what did you learn from this experience? This very recent, painful experience. Just to
always
share
bring my own
with-
pair of
just-
pajamas
oh,
in my purse. maybe.
Always have your own pair of pajamas in your bag.
Yeah, that's right.
And a toothbrush.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And then I would have
And
been
then,
golden.
aspirin.
Aspirin.
Right. So whatever your hangover cure is. So we
Yeah.
have your own. Bring pajamas.
Maybe a sandwich.
Maybe a sandwich, some snacks, water, aspirin.
Right.
Toothbrush.
Yeah.
What else did we? Because it has nothing to do with like drinking too much or continuing to drink. Because that's almost like.
Because it's not like I love to be like, and then Peter, from then on, I never had
I'm
a
never
drink
gonna have
again.
another drink again.
And or even to say like, and I'm never gonna drink in front of clients. No, I still am not making any better decisions than I did at that moment. So I think the big lesson for me was like, never go to a second location.
The second location.
I think that's
that's the big lesson, is especially if you're out with clients and they're like, let's continue on. You say, I'm going to continue home.
Yeah.
Or back to the hotel or wherever it may be.
And
That's a great lesson.
Yeah. And I think for me especially, because I'm like a real happy drinker. You may not be aware, but that I am.
That's good. It's good to know. It's good to know that you're not a mean drunk.
Yeah,
So you're not
I'm
a mean drunk. Yeah.
And I just like, I am having so much fun and I don't want it to stop. And I think everything's funny and it's great. But so I need sort of like something to kind of say, like an out, like I need something rehearsed, some kind of language to use, because I'm not very good at like just saying no.
Yeah.
It's really tough. It's really tough. So what would be your advice?
Yeah,
like, how do I get out? Like you understand how tough it is.
I would say,
with clients,
especially,
right?
especially in that situation, I do. And thankfully later, just because I also I saw and been through enough of those experiences myself, I would say, just because I knew that if there was another big day of meetings, I would just be like, you know what, I would love to meet your family. Next time, why don't we, next time I'm in town, we'll plan something, but I want to get some rest. I'm exhausted from the drive and I want to be fresh for tomorrow. I probably would have BS'd something like that. But it's hard. It's hard when you're in the moment, and you also had no idea that you were going to be going out into the boonies. The boonies of the boonies.
I really
So that's
didn't.
even.
Yes, I should have
So it's
asked
not
more
like,
questions
like
before
how far,
getting in the car.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing this. And I know this is not probably the easiest thing to bring back up, as we like to say in the business.
That's the theme,
but
right?
There we go. But it was great having you on Not Suitable for Work. It was a real pleasure. And hopefully we'll have you back maybe with another story.
I have got a million.
All right.
Thanks,
Sounds
Peter.
great. Of course. We've all gotten caught up in the moment and drank too much. The worst is having to admit to colleagues or clients that you've passed the point of no return. For my guest, this resulted in an impromptu sleepover with a family who were seemingly unfazed with this situation. Finally, you know you have a top-notch client when they cover for you without hesitation while you go scarf down hangover food and head home to recover. If you want more Not Suitable for Work or have a work story to share, please be sure to follow us on Facebook at Not Suitable for Work. You can find our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play, or wherever you find your podcast. I'm Peter C. Diamond. You can follow me on Twitter at Peter C. Diamond. Not Suitable for Work is produced by Matt Cunningham at Truthful Enthusiasm. Get your story online with truthfulenthusiasm.com. Until next time.